Go ahead, Mike.
Charles, I keep saying to Michael Smith, we were talking about the Patriots, how everybody is new and not really sure of a direction, but I'm going to add the Commanders to that too. They got, Adam Peters, who's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. But then you bring in Josh Harris. When football guys and basketball guys start to have a conversation, a football guy and a basketball guy walk into a bar and they both get thrown out because it doesn't work. It just doesn't work in that case. I feel like both of those teams are going to do something weird at the top of the draft. Am I paranoid, or do you think I'm on to something?
Well, I mean, they've already done something weird when you're talking about the Commanders. They brought everybody on that group visit, right? All the top 4 quarterbacks that are ultimately on their board. They brought in a multitude of other prospects. It was kind of like that group visit day. They went and did like a top golf event because they wanted to see guys really interact with each other, be around each other, just sort of see basically how guys navigated not only that social situation, but also just a different scenario, particularly amongst quarterbacks. You're used to your one-on-one visit, right? Like you come in, it's your visit. It's this very hyper-focused time between you, the owner, the general manager. This was very different than that. And, Jayden Daniels, his camp took exception to that. I don't think they were extremely happy that it was more of a group visit. But it was interesting. I was talking to somebody about this, and I was like, I've never seen this happen before. What help me out here? Like, what is the dynamic here? And this is somebody in the league that knows the Commanders, has some passing experience with Josh Harris, the owner of the Commanders. And he said, look, he's like, when do you think Josh Harris is available? He's like, honestly, he's like, Josh Harris, he's got a busy schedule and he's very involved with the football end of the Washington Commanders right now. And in his mind, he's like,
Which
you
is
do
my
the group.
issue.
Yeah, well, you do the group visit because Josh Harris wants to be involved, right? Like he wants to be involved in what the process is, and he wants to get a look at all these and Josh Harris can't be there every single time you're bringing a quarterback in and doing all the one-on-one stuff.
Then stay out of it. Then stay out of it.
Exactly.
Honestly, you shouldn't be that involved in the first place. But now they have to adjust the way they evaluate prospects on your schedule. Bruh, hire talented people and let them do their job.
They're gonna mess this up.
They're
gonna mess this
he
up.
He might not have all the other shit to him, but this is so early Dan Snyder-esque when it comes to bruh, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Or David Tepper even. Stay in your lane.
I think, oh man, it's not even get on that. I will tell you, I will tell you that I think they end up taking Jayden Daniels out of LSU. I really do.
Okay.
And
all right.
so to me, I'd be like, all right, this was a lot. But the one thing that concerns me is I know there are people in the building who like JJ McCarthy, just like as Michael, you said, there are people in New England who like JJ McCarthy. I know there are people in Washington who like JJ McCarthy. And you wonder as it gets
like
down
him
to
the best of the other quarterbacks, like him over Daniels and May.
I know that there's genuine interest there in him. I would not say he's at the top of their board right now. Okay. Like I don't think their board. I really realistically, I kind of think their board is settled. I do think Daniels is at the top of it, but I don't think they're putting a bow on it until we get a little later in the week. They're going to have that meeting where they go through everybody's opinion and then they ultimately make the quarterback choice. A thing that's interesting too, though, and this is like the new world we're in. You keep seeing these betting odds where JJ McCarthy at the number 2 pick move, and they're improving right now. Like as in, like he's the odds of him being selected number 2 are going up amongst the odds makers.
Don't May and Daniels have the same odds at number 2? Last I saw, it might not be.
I mean, depends where you look, but it's very similar. One thing to keep in mind, this draft is a little weird, a little different. Remember when Paolo Banchero got taken in the NBA draft, and right before the NBA draft, there was this report, Scoot Henderson is going to be the number 1 pick. And then all of a sudden, odds changed. It got crazy, right? And then it turned out that Scoot wasn't the first pick in the draft. I wonder if we're going to start to see the NFL infected with this, where it's like, someone out there there's someone planning information. All of a sudden you see odds there are shifting rapidly and like things like, I think like betting odds is a fascinating thing now when I look at this year's number 2 pick, number 3 pick. Like I wonder, I don't want to say anything like funny is going on, but there are a lot of people out there in the betting industry that have skin in the game to float information or elicit information to them that might help them get an edge on a wager, things like that. That is a weird wrinkle to this draft I would pay attention to, particularly with that number 2 pick, where the odds have changed a multitude of times. Drake May has been number 2 at times. Jayden Daniels has been number 2. Jayden McCarthy's sliding up and down the board constantly. So just an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
Okay. So we covered the Commanders. So, okay, Commanders go. Let's just go in order, or as the order stands right now. Caleb Williams, you have Jayden Daniels right now. Is your expectation that you said a second ago that the Commanders take Jayden Daniels? What do the Patriots do at 3 then in this scenario?
This is where it gets fun to me, because I think the Patriots, it's hard for me to believe they're going to move out. I think it's too costly. I think they would want more than the 12-3 move last year by Houston, because I think they know that if they move back to 12, they might want to then do exactly what the Cardinals did last year, which is move up from 12. So there's a lot of moving parts for a move back, move up scenario. I've also had a team who said, hey, they could be a double move back team as well. It's a pretty deep draft at certain areas. They could address the offensive line. They have a lot of different needs. They're better off stockpiling second-round picks right now and moving back twice. It's just, again, as much as I think one team that may come calling at 3 is potentially the Minnesota Vikings.
You mentioned Denver. You mentioned Denver earlier.
Well, Minnesota Vikings have already acquired the capital to make a move. I think they have the capital to get up to 3, right? And they have 2 first-round picks, which has got to be attractive if you're the Patriots and move back in a deep draft. This is a deep draft, particularly at offensive line, wide receiver, the skill positions, quarterback. And the Vikings, Josh McCown being the quarterback's coach, having that relationship with Drake May, like 3, I'm like, I could see Minnesota moving to 3, not to 4, to 3. To try and get ahead of everybody and go ahead and select Drake May, number 3 overall, because I think that relationship there and the tools he brings to the table, they feel like he's his. And by the way, he's like McCarthy, he's young. And I will say this about McCarthy real quick. Part of the conversation why teams who like McCarthy, they look at him and they go, he just turned 21. We love Jayden Daniels, but also Jayden Daniels is 24. What is JJ McCarthy going to look like in 3 years with another 40 starts under his belt? Like, what if his ceiling is actually far higher than we realize? He's just not 24 yet, and Jayden Daniels is, and he started damn near 60 games in his career. So I think that's part of what plays into the affection for JJ McCarthy as well.
Mike Smith says he loves draft week, and I love the draft. But the downside of the draft of talking about is we wind up talking about a bunch of losers more than we talk about winners. Okay, that's the downside of it.
Like, remove your bias. Hey. Remove your bias.
No, I'm just saying. We're talking about, the Bears. We're talking about the Bears. We're talking about the Commanders.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought that was a shot at J.J. McCarthy. I thought
no.
literal losers.
Oh, no, listen.
I thought
hey, that guy's a winner. 27-1.
No, I know he's literally won, but I know how you feel about that school up north.
Right.
I thought that was a shot in the school up north.
Nobody taken in the top 5 picks is a loser, okay, ever. It's like,
that's right. I'm talking about loser teams, not loser guys, loser teams.
I know. Hey, Charles, you're a Spartan. I would say you come in second on this here panel. People who hate Michigan. So that's why when he said a loser, I immediately thought he was going at McCarthy.
I'm not going there.
Sorry.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.